Okay, welcome back everyone to another week in the weekly Parsha, Parshas Vayishlach. And we have in this week's Parsha the showdown of Yaakov and Esav after being separated for 20 years from each other. The great trepidation that Yaakov has, and he brings tons and tons of gifts and presents to appease his brother Esav. And when Esav sees the encampments of his wives, his children, the massive family that Yaakov was able to produce after all these years, and the matanas and all the animals and the gifts that he's giving, Esav says the following words to his brother. Esav says, Yesh li rav achi, I have a lot, my brother. Whatever belongs to you, you can keep it for yourself. I don't need what you have. Says the Klei Yakar on these words, the brazen words of Esav HaRasha, who sees his brother coming with all of the gifts, all the presents, all of the appeasement, and all he can say is, keep it for yourself. Yesh li rav, I have a lot. Says the Klei Yakar, mashma rav aval kol. It seems from the words of Esav that he was saying to his brother Yaakov, I have a lot, but I don't have everything. The Yaakov Amar and Yaakov Avinu, in just a couple of psukim later, will say, Kachnes birchasi, take my blessing, asher yiveisalach, that I brought for you. Ki chanani Elokim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has blessed me. He has graced me. V'chi yesh li koil, I have everything, says Yaakov. Vayibtza, he impressed upon Esav that he should take the presents. Vayikach, and Esav took it in the end. So Esav HaRasha says to his brother, I don't need what you have. Yesh li rav, I have a lot. And Yaakov says, Ki chanani Elokim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has blessed me, and he's bestowed such kindness upon me. V'chi yesh li kol, therefore I have everything. Says the Klei Yakar, this is the difference between Esav and between Yaakov. Esav speaks in a way that he has a lot, but lo yikol, not everything. And Yaakov Avinu is able to recognize, Chanani Elokim, the Rebbeinu Shalom has given me everything that I could possibly want. Yesh li kol, I have it all. The wicked people in this world, even if they have all the gold, all the silver, all the riches, the diamonds, the pearls, the big house, the yacht, you name it, they have it all. Nevertheless, they always feel that they're lacking something. A person could have a lot. They could have millions and billions and trillions. They could have everything you think a person can need in this world, and yet they're always feeling chaserim. They're always feeling like they're lacking something. V'yesh lam rav, they have a lot, aval lo kol tzarcham, but they never can see that they have everything that they need. And therefore, Amar Esav, yesh li rav, I have a lot, aval lo kol, but I don't have everything. Ki adayin chaserim hema, they are always lacking something. Yaakov Avinu looks at his life, and he says, Chanani Elokim, the Rebbeinu Shalom gave me so much. I am blessed by Hashem. Yesh li kol, I have it all. I'm not lacking. I'm not missing. I'm not looking for. I don't need anything. I'm not dreaming of the car that's coming out tomorrow. I'm not dreaming of anything. I look at what I have. I see the blessing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given me. I'm satisfied with everything that's within my possession, whatever I have to me. Yesh li kol, I have it all. Esav HaRasha was a man with riches, a man with power, a man with honor. He was a man that had everything going for him. And he tells his brothers, trying to give him more, keep it for yourself. Yesh li rav, I have a lot already, but I don't have everything. Because a Rasha, a wicked person, says the Klei Yakar, he's never satisfied with what he has. There's always something more that he wants. And this is really a verse that we find in Koheles and Ecclesiastes. The pasuk says, Oyev kesef, somebody who loves money. He loves money. Lo yizba kesef, he will never be satisfied by money. Imagine a guy is a multi-billionaire. And you would think, a guy has $1 billion. He should be happy. He should be satisfied. Oyev kesef, someone that loves money, lo yizbe kesef, money will never ever satisfy him. Why should that be? If you love ice cream, and you get like one of these super duper sundaes with 6 scoops of ice cream and the cherry on top of all of the whipped cream and the sprinkles, and you eat and you're 4 scoops into the sundae, and suddenly your stomach cannot take it anymore. You have had enough already. You don't need any more. And yet the person who loves money, no matter how much he has, it's never enough. And he can never be satisfied. Says the Metzudas Dovid, why is he never satisfied? Someone who loves to amass money for himself, he will never be satisfied from the amassing of his wealth. Because forever, it's not enough what he has gathered. He just wants to acquire more and more and more. You would think that the person has a lot will find some satisfaction, and yet the Koheles, this King Solomon, who was the richest man of all, he knows what he's talking about. He tells us that that person who has a little, he wants more. You give him more, he wants more and more and more and more and more and more. The love, the desire that he has for money makes it that he never feels satisfied from the physical, material possessions that he has. Now this is really a midrash, and the midrash says further, a famous statement. Rabbi Bun said the following words. He said, Amar Rabbi Yudin b'shem Rabbi Evo. Ein adam yoytze min ha'olam, a person will not leave this world, meaning they will not finish their time in this world, v'chatzi tavasa biyadai, with half of his desires in his hand. A person, they get to the age, the ripe old age, 90 years old, they look back on their life, they've had a good life. They have so much. They have money, they have cars, they have portfolio, they have property, they have investments, they have stocks, they have it all. You would think he's a very wealthy man. Says the Midrash, a person doesn't leave the world with even half of his desires in his hand. If a person has $100, he wants to make $200. And if he makes that 200, then he wants to make 400. Whatever he has, he wants double, he wants more. Never satisfied. So the Mefarshim, the commentators explain over here, why does it work like that? Why does it work that whatever you have, you always need to have even more? Because the person is convinced, I got 100, 100 feels so good. Imagine if I had double of that. I'll be so much happier. So then the guy works hard. He doesn't come home at nights. He's sleeping in his office. He's on the phone. He's calling across the country to make deals in the early wee hours of the morning. And he makes the deal. And now he has 200. He says, wow, 200 feels pretty good. If only I had double. If only I had 400, then I'll be satisfied. And then he works, and he works, and he works, and he gets 400. He says, 400 million. If only I had 800 million, then I would be happy. Then he makes 800 million. He says, $1 billion, that would make me satisfied. And then 1 billion becomes 2 billion, and 2 billion becomes 4 billion, so on and so forth. The man is never satisfied. There are pangs, hunger pangs that are inside of the person that are driving him in the direction to make more and more and more. And as a result of that, there is no satisfaction. Says the Klei Yakar about the life of Yaakov and Esav. 2 totally different lives. Esav says, Yesh li Rav, I have a lot, but I don't have everything. Could always use a little bit more, a little bit extra, some more money from this investment and from that one, and I'll have to make another deal and do another investment. And Yaakov Avinu says the exact opposite. Chanani Elokim. Hashem is the one that has blessed me. I see that everything in my life is coming from above. And therefore, I'm not lacking anything. I'm not missing anything. I don't need anything. Yesh li koil. I have everything that I could possibly want in my life. So we have to decide in our own lives which kind of a person we want to be like. Do we want to be like a Yaakov Avinu who recognized that everything in front of me is a gift from the Ribbono Shel Olam? And if it is, then yesh li koil, I have everything I need. Or am I not? Remember, Esav doesn't mention HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He just says, yeah, yesh li, Rav, I have a lot, because whatever I have, I got myself. My own brilliance, my own ingenuity, my own creativity, my own business savvy, my own special degrees on the wall behind me. That's what got me everything I have. But I need more. And says the pasuk in Koheles and the Midrash over here, the more that you have, the more that you're going to want. And the more that you keep striving for more and more, the more the desire is going to open and open and open, and then you will never be satisfied, because you think, if I have more, then I'll be satisfied. Guess what? You get to that more, and then you realize that you're not satisfied yet. If only I had another billion, if only I had another beach house, if only I had a house somewhere in the Swiss Alps that I could go to for 1 week in the summer, and that will be my house. And I'm not even going to rent it out as an Airbnb. I'm going to keep it all to myself. Then I'll be happy. Then you get one house, you need another house. You go on one vacation, you have to go on another vacation. You have one car, you need two cars. You have this one. I was once in the olden days when people, there used to be a phone dealer down the street. And it used to be like such a hassle to get your phone and get everything put on. It used to take hours sometimes at these places. So I was there, a guy walks in there one day, and he's this big guy, and he walks in and he says, "Where's the new phone?" So they said, "Which phone are you talking about, sir?" "The iPhone." "Where's that?" This, I don't know, it was the iPhone 6, 7, something. That's how ancient this story is. iPhone 6. And the guy's holding a phone in his hand. So they said, "Sir, do you need a phone?" He's like, "No, I have one." "So what do you want to see?" "I just want to see what there is. I want to see the phone." So they bring in the phone, he's looking, look. He doesn't need a phone. He has a phone in his hand, but he wants to see what the new phone looks like. Because there's this unsatiable thirst that a person has inside. Like we've pointed out before, it used to be that people bought cars. Okay, then they didn't buy cars anymore, they leased cars. I remember from years ago, it was like in the beginning, a 3 to 5 year lease. That was how it worked for a car. Now it's like you lease a car for 3 weeks and you get a new one after 3 weeks, because everybody needs to have a brand new car. Because last week something else came out of the market and it has this bell and whistle, so we need that instead. Says the Midrash, you will never leave this world with chetzi tavaisa, half of your desires in your hand. You always want more and more and more, and therefore, what kind of a person are we going to be? So I'm reminded of the famous words of Rav Dessler. It's the first opening remarks that he makes in his sefer called Michtav Melio. And he has a piece over here called Ha'oisha ve'aschar ba'olam hazeh, the happiness and the reward in olam hazeh, in this world. And it's really a thesis that he has on the pursuit of happiness. That everybody in this world is pursuing happiness. That's what we're all here for. Nobody wants to be sad. Nobody wants to be depressed. Nobody wants to feel that they don't have accomplished. Everybody's looking to find that pie in the sky that's going to make me happy. And so Rav Dessler says, well, why don't we go around the world and start asking people, are you happy? Let's see, what is the secret to happiness in this world? And he says, you know what, let's start with the wealthy, because they must be happy. They have everything. They have nice cars, they have nice homes, they have great vacations. Anyway, they never have credit card debt. They pay all their bills on time, ahead of time. He can buy his wife whatever she wants for the anniversary. She puts any kind of food on the table. The kids are wearing the nicest of clothes. They go to the top private school. Everything is great with them. They have booming businesses. They're well known in their fields. They must be the happiest people in the world. So let's go ask the wealthy, he says. So we come to a millionaire, we ask him, no, you're a happy man. And he says, happy? Well, what do you mean by happiness? He says, you wake up in the morning, you're happy to be alive. You walk throughout the day, you have a little skip in your step, and you're happy, you smile, you're in good mood. He says, well, not really. Well, you have so much money. You have so many possessions. You have so much stuff. How could you not be happy? He says, oh, you don't know my life. You know, the headaches that I have. My employees, my employer, this one and that one, and the people are hounding me down, and this one hates me, and that one hates me, and my marriage is falling apart. My kids are driving me crazy. I've got aches and pains, and I have anxiety. I can't sleep at night. I take pills every night to go to sleep. You call it happiness? No, I'm not a very happy person, if that's what you're asking. Oh, okay, says Rav Dessler. Let's move on. You know what, if the rich man is not happy because he always wants more and he's always worrying about his, I think they say over by, I don't remember if it's Rothschild, not Rothschild, if it was Rockefeller or it was J. Paul Getty, one of them, at the end of their life, they were so consumed with anxiety that they thought that everybody was trying to kill them, and wanted their money and was trying to kill them so they could get their money. In the very end, they had paranoia, and at the very end of their life, they were convinced that whoever was serving them food was trying to put poison in the food to kill them, to get them out of this world so they could steal their money. So one of them, you have to Google it after the class. One of them ended up dying of malnutrition because he stopped eating. Because the man was a billionaire. He had a palace, he had palatial estates, he had servants, he had maids, he had everything, but he was convinced that every maid was trying to poison him, and therefore he stopped eating. He stopped eating, he died from malnutrition. The man's a millionaire, a billionaire, whatever would be in our terms today, but he was worried so much, paranoid about his life, he had nothing. So the rich man says, I'm not a happy person. He says, let's go to the middle class. Middle class, not so bad. Let's even the way that he makes it, middle upper class. So got a little extra gelt in your pocket, can pay the bills, working hard, have a nice job, nice wife, car, family, kids, everything. Could be great. Are you happy? Well, what do you mean by happiness, Rabbi Dessler? I mean, are you happy? You feel satisfied, you feel fulfilled, you have a good day, come home, you're happy to see your wife and your kids, everything is good? No, not really. Why not? Because I work so hard and I never make as much money as that rich guy over there. So all day long I'm working and working and working, and still I come home to my 2,500 square foot house. I don't understand. And still I'm driving a car that was made in 2019. I don't understand. Why don't I have a new car? How come I can't have a bigger house? I finally called in one of these Israeli contractors. I'll do some remodeling and maybe add a story to my house. Too much money, I can't afford it. I thought I'm working so hard, I have money. I have nothing. So I have maybe what I need, but I can never get what I want. So no, I'm not happy, I'm sorry. Okay, the rich person's not happy, middle class not happy. Let's go to the poor, impoverished people of this world. Lower class, says Rav Dessler, maybe they're happy. They don't have a lot, but maybe they have whatever. Are you happy? Happy? Are you kidding me? We work and we work and we work and we work. Laborers, plumbers, electricians. We work, street cleaners, janitors, you name it. And at the end of the day, we can barely pay the bills. We schwitz at the end of every month just to try to balance the checkbook so that they're not coming after us with the credit card debt. Call that happy? I don't have what middle class, I don't have what upper class has. I'm barely making ends meet, and I'm not even making ends meet. And everything is a pressure on me. No, I'm not happy. Says Rav Dessler, we're in big trouble. We went to the 3 social stratuses of this world. Rich, middle class, lower class. Nobody's happy in this world. How could it be that nobody rejoices, nobody wakes up with a smile on their face and goes to sleep with a smile on their face? How does that work? So he says the following words. He says, our Chachamim, our sages have already taught us in the Mishnah and Pirkei Avos, Hakina va'atava ve'akavod. Jealousy, desire, and the pursuit of honor will remove a person from this world. The world is really a happy place. HaKadosh Baruch Hanani Elokim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us so much, and He blesses us with so much, and He loads us up with so many blessings in our life. There's no reason why a person should not be happy in this world, if you'll appreciate what you have. But since that I am consumed with kina, with jealousy of what everybody else has, and I have taiva, I have desires, I want more and more and more, and therefore I'm never satisfied with what I have, and I'm chasing after honor, and the only way you can get honored in this world is if you have a certain amount of money and people respect you for what you have. It has removed me from the happiness of this world. I have nothing at all to truly be happy about. And therefore he goes on to write that really the world that Hashem created, it really is a happy place. It's a happy world with a lot of things to be happy about. But these three things are nagging at me all of the time, and it gets in the way of me being a person of real happiness. So what's the advice? What do Chazal, what do our sages teach us? How are we going to get there? They have another statement. And it says, Eizehu Ashir. Who is a rich person? Hasameach bechelkoi, the person who is happy with their chelik, with their portion in this world. Whoever is like a Yaakov Avinu, who recognizes Chanani Elokim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that has given me everything that I have. And if I was supposed to have more, I would have more. A bigger house, I'd have a bigger house. More money in the bank, I'd have more money in the bank. More deals will go through, and more deals will go through. But whatever it is that I have, I'm sameach bechelkoi, I am satisfied with the portion that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given me. Says Rav Dessler, the Chazal are teaching us over here, the only way that a person can truly be considered a rich man, if you are satisfied with everything that you have. Because if I have HaKoil, I have everything, like Yaakov said, and I'm not missing a penny to my name. I'm not missing one acquisition in this world. So that I'm the richest, happiest person around, because I'm totally satisfied with the life that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given to me. This is the struggle of all of history between Yaakov and Esav. Esav is always pushing the agenda. It's never enough. You need more. You want more. And it's like the things that they come up with in the world today of the things that, when I was a kid, you had to go to a store to go shopping. Today, it's Amazon.com. I'm sure that everybody buys at least 25 to 35% more things on Amazon than they'll ever need in their entire life. You're going on, it's like going to Costco. Somebody told me they were in Costco the other day, and they were standing waiting for the glasses to get finished, and they're watching everybody check out at the counter. And you have people's baskets are filled. They have so much. They have so much, things overflowing. Sometimes you get there, you realize you need another cart. So much. And they paid for it all also. And he said every single person was walking away with the most sour face you could imagine. There wasn't not a single smile in Costco. He says, Ribbono Shel Olam, you walked into a store, has everything at your fingertips, you put it into the cart, you paid for it, you're going to go home right now, you're going to put it away in your cabinets, in your fridge, and you're going to plug things in, you have everything you want, why are you so sad? I said, because they walked into Costco for eggs, and they ended up spending $1,500 on everything else they don't need, that's why they're so sad, they can't believe they did it again. But that's the world that we live in. The world that we live in is that we don't need so much, but the world convinces us, yes you do. You need this to be happy. People like you bought this. People like you are looking at this. This is trending right now. This is what you need. This is the secret of your happiness. It's not true. Says the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Ezu Asher, who's rich? Hasameach bechelkoi, the person that is satisfied with that which they have. That means I'm not looking online for new things all the time. I'm not going shopping every single day or every single week. I need a new thing and a new thing and a new thing and a new thing. Black people, I remember once, my kids used to go to the city, and they used to go to school in the city. It was Black Friday. And we were relatively new in Los Angeles, and I didn't really know that like Black Friday is a religion. I had no idea about it. And we drive we're leaving the city on Thursday night or coming in early Friday morning, and I see that there's like tents. This is before there was a homeless problem in Los Angeles. So now it would be like no big deal. Okay, people are sleeping on the streets. But this was a chiddush. There are people sleeping on the streets, and they were there the entire night waiting to get into Best Buy so that they could save $15.99 on earpods. That's what they're waiting for. They're willing to stay in the street, not be with their family, not be in the comfort of their own home, not say goodnight to their wife and their children because they would like to save $15.99 on a pair of earpods on Friday morning on Black Friday. Now, why would a person do such a thing? Only because they were convinced that that's happiness. You're going to tell all your friends, you know what I did? I spent the whole night out there on the street. I was in a tent. That's happiness. That's not happiness. Say Chazal, our sages teach us, the way of the Torah is, whatever you have to be happy with. You don't need any more. If you don't have less, that's because that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided to give you. Be satisfied with your lot. And then Rav Dessler says, so who are you going to find in this world that's truly a happy person? If it's not the rich, and it's not the middle class, and it's not the lower class, who's going to be happy? And he says it boils down to one thing. Ein shum oisha gashmi ba'olam. There is no physical happiness, material wealth that can bring you happiness in this world. Rak oisha ruchani, the only happiness of the world is really spiritual happiness. Mishu asher beruchni is someone that's rich in spirituality. He's really the happy person. Nobody else can achieve true happiness in this world. Because if the world teaches us that you'll never die with half of what you want in your hands, if the world teaches us that if you love money, you'll never be satisfied, and if Amazon has convinced us you need to keep buying and buying and buying, and then you'll be happy, and then I just got something new, so why am I looking for something else? Because the more you get, the more you want. So then the only happiness in the world is that's happiness. The only happiness in the world is the happiness that's here. When my spirit and my neshama and my soul feels satisfied with what it's doing in this world, that's where simcha comes from. It's very interesting because in Koheles, the Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon writes, even though he says, Oyev kesef lo yisbeh, someone who loves money, they'll never be satisfied. They always want more and more and more. And therefore you would think that when it comes to the neshama's spiritual delights and spiritual acquisitions, there'd be enough. He says the following words, V'nefesh lo yisimale. The nefesh will never be filled up. The soul of a person will never be filled up. So I was thinking that it's not the same thing. Oyev kesef lo yisbeh, someone who loves money, he will never be satisfied. There's never satisfaction that the person will find there because he always wants more and more and more. When it comes to ruchni, spiritual endeavors, so it's true that you will never be lo yisimal, you can never get filled up. But every little piece of the way, every little acquisition that you make, everything that you do, satisfies a person's neshama. Now you want more because it feels so good. You just want more of the good thing. Not that you feel empty, not that you are longing, not that you are yearning for things that you don't have, but once that I know how good it tastes to have ruchnius spirituality in my life, once that I feel the connection to Hashem, I feel the connection to my neshama and to the Torah, and that feels so good, it's satisfying me inside. I can never be filled up completely because I realize there's so much more. I want more and more and more and more. And this perhaps takes us into the story of Hanukkah, which is coming upon us in about 2 weeks. The Greeks, Yavan, they came to Klal Yisrael and they said, we'd like you to become like us. You don't have to leave Eretz Yisrael. We're not going to destroy the Beis Hamikdash, the temple. We're not going to kick you out of here and send you into exile like all of the other cruel and mean enemies of the Jewish people. We'll let you stay in Jerusalem. We'll let you stay in the land. We're not even going to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. We'll leave it standing in its place. Well, we'll change a few things like idol worship, and we'll make different kind of offerings, but we're going to leave it where it is. On one condition: you need to become like us. The more that you can appreciate the values of Greek ideologies, which is the body, which is philosophy, which is our mythological religions, which is science and technology and culture and art and the like, the more that you could appreciate our way of life, like the whole world was at that time, Western civilization, so then we're going to leave you in the land because we see that you can abandon the ways of Torah, the ways of mitzvahs, the ways of serving Hashem, become like us. That will be a great victory and a conquest for the Greeks. Many of the Jews abandoned their faith during this time. Many of the Jews walked away from thousands of years of legacy, of lineage, of Masorah, of a transmission of the Torah, and they came to the other side of the world, and they became misyavdim, they became assimilated into the Greek culture and their ideologies and everything they stood for. If a person would really appreciate what the real happiness in this world is, which is ruchnius, which is spiritual happiness and joy, and that it doesn't mean you have to have everything, it just means that a person has to put in the effort and try, and every little bit that you get, that's already satisfying. It's already making me feel better and feel good. So then that person would never ever walk away from the world of Torah and of Judaism and of mitzvahs that we have. Because even if I'm not the most successful davener in the world, I'm not the most successful learner in the world, I'm not the most successful tzedakah giver in the world, I'm not the most successful maybe husband, maybe son, maybe wife, maybe dad, I'm not the most successful in the world. But I'm trying every day to do a little more, and a little more, and a little more, and a little more. So then I'm gaining more of the spiritual happiness and joy in this world, and that's satisfying. I will not be filled up completely because I want more. I want to get to higher levels and higher levels. But I realize, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you've given everything to me that I need, and that's going to bring me into the world of Oisher, of happiness and joy in this world. Esav HaRasha was a man that was looking for more because he lived the bracha, the blessing that he received from his father Yitzchak was, you're going to have this world. This is your world. This is your place. This is what belongs to you. And therefore Esav was a very earthy man who was looking for happiness in this world. You can't find it. So I have a lot, but I want more. Yaakov, Chanani Elokim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're so kind. You blessed me with so much. Do I have a lot? Do I have billions and trillions? No. Do I need that? Not at all. Whatever you've given me, that's what I'm happy with. That's what I need. Hasamech bechelko, the person that's happy with his lot, he is a truly happy person here in this world. And I want to leave you off with a story of a family that was living in Eretz Yisrael, and they had, I think, 11 children. small family in Israel. They had 11 children, and 5 of their 11 children were already married. Now, I don't know if you know anything about weddings, but they're not cheap. And if you don't have money, they're even more expensive. So this family, the father's name was Shmuel, Grandmin Shmuel, had 11 children, 5 are married. He doesn't have much parnasa, much money coming in, and he's living in tremendous debt, and it's crushing him beyond belief. And he's under enormous amounts of pressure, and he's having a hard time coping. So what does he do? So he does what he always does. He goes and he robs the bank. No, what does he always do? When he's under pressure financially, he has a grandfather who is buried on a place called Horowitz, Mount Olives in Jerusalem. If you've ever seen it, behind the Kaisel, behind the Wailing Wall, there's a cemetery. It's the most dangerous cemetery in all of Jerusalem, as the Arabs are always around there, and they're very unfriendly to the Jewish people, and they will throw rocks, and they can beat people up. It's a dangerous place to be. The last time that I went there, I wanted to go. I ended up hiring an armed guard to take me there because I was told, just be safe. Just be safe. So it's hard to get a ride up to Mount Horowitz because not every taxi wants to go there. The buses don't really run there. And he's looking for a taxi, and finally he finds one. And the guy drives him up, and he tells him, I'm stopping right over here, which is at the foot of the mountain. And Shmuel's grandfather's grave is all the way up on the top of the mountain. Okay, drops him off, and he climbs, he hikes the mountain. It was a very hot, blistering, sunny day in the summertime. He hikes up, he's schwitzing already by the time he gets to the grave. And he begins davening and pouring out his heart. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, crying. He says, please, Zaidi, please, in your merit, in Bubby's merit, please, let me find a way to pay my bills. Send me some money, do something, please. And he's davening and davening and davening. The sun is beating down on him. He didn't have a water bottle. And the next thing you know, he's feeling a bit faint, dehydrated. He sits down next to the tombstone. He leans his head on the tombstone, and he falls asleep. So here you have a man falling asleep in a cemetery, in the dangerous of all neighborhoods, and he has a very deep dream. And his grandfather, his beloved grandfather, whose grave he was praying at, comes to him in a dream. And he walks over and he says to his grandson, he says, and he wipes away the tears, Shmuel, what are you crying about? What's the matter? He says, Zaidi, what's the matter? Look at me. He said, I married off 5 children. I have no money. I'm living in debt. There's things called the gemach, where you can borrow money. It's a free loan society in the Jewish communities. He says, I borrowed so much money and I haven't been able to pay back. They're hounding me for the money. How am I going to pay everything back? What am I going to do? I'm under stress. I'm under pressure. Zaidi, what do you mean what's wrong? Please, he says, can you work something over there in the heavens? Bring some money down to me. You and Bubby, daven for me that the money should come. So his grandfather says, Shmuel, let me show you something. And he pulls out a picture. And in that picture is Shmuel's family of 11 children. And he says, look at your son, Yankee. The youngest one of the family, number 11, is a little boy named Yankee. He says, look at your son. And he looks at the picture. And he sees that his son, Yankee, is completely deformed. His face totally deformed. His body is in unusual shape. And Shmuel starts saying, what? What? What's going on over here? That's not what my son looks like. What's going on over here? And he says, Shmuel, you don't understand. This is the picture in Shemayim in heaven of what your family is supposed to look like. He says, and when myself and your Bubby and your grandmother and the other ancestors that are here saw the child that you were supposed to have was going to be born unhealthy and deformed and have a very hard life, we davened to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we begged him, please Hashem, if in fact Shmuel and his family have to go through hardships, let it come in another way. But let that child be born healthy. Please, Hashem. And we begged, and we begged, and we begged. And Hashem listened to our prayers. And Yankee, who should have looked like this, he looks like that sweet, pure, angelic boy that you have in your life. But it came with a cost, Shmuel. And the cost is, you're going to have a hard life when it comes to money. You might live a life of poverty forever. I don't know, whatever Hashem will decide. You'll manage to get by month to month to month, but that is the struggles, and that is the suffering, and that is what we call the atonement that you will have here in this world. And suddenly, he wakes up. And he looks around and he sees where he is. He's by the grave of his grandfather. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a picture that was just taken at the last wedding of his child with the whole family together. And he sees the sweet, angelic face of Yankee, of his youngest son. Healthy, smiling, everything is fine. And he says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if this is what you've decided to give me, a beautiful son and no money, you know what? I'll take the life of no money. And at that moment, he looks and he sees that the sun is beginning to set, and he realizes Mincha is coming. I better run down the hill as fast as I can, make it to the Kaisel, to the Wailing Wall, and daven Mincha, because Hashem, I have a lot to be grateful for. Are we Yeshli Rav? Are we people that have a lot but not everything? Or Chanani Elokim, Hashem has graced me and blessed me? V'yeshli kol, I have everything that I need. May we be Zeichem Yetz Hashem to follow in the ways of our great ancestor Yaakov Avinu, who, although he had, as we will see continued in the Torah, probably one of the hardest lives of anyone that ever existed in this world. Yet he realized everything that he had, it's all from Hashem. And if it's all from Hashem, Yeshli Kol, I have everything that I need. And like Rav Desser says, such a person who is happy with their lot, they are the one that will truly find happiness in a world that is pursuing happiness and will have a very hard time finding it. You will be the one that live a life of Oisher, a life of simcha, of joy, and happy with everything that you have.